To a great start. I am here today to talk about one process that I see a lot of entrepreneurs not doing that is really stunting the growth of their business, and it's really keeping them from making as much progress and as much money as they possibly could. So today I want to talk to you about what this process is and why it's so important. And I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to know so that you can do this, so that you can use every single consult that you are doing and having to the best of your ability. You're going to be able to squeeze every ounce of value out of it, and especially out of the right consults. So I'm Lori Reeves, founder and CEO of Brand Strength. If you've not met me, you might not know that I help people launch their first or next high ticket offering. What I mean by that is putting a whole offering together, whether you already have something that you just want to bump up the value of, or you're completely starting from scratch, having that offering, the amazing, irresistible messaging, all the tech set up so that you are ready to send contracts, send invoices, collect payments, serve your clients, all of it done and ready to go in 90 days or less. That's what I help people with. And I have 4 steps that I lead people through as we're doing this. And today I'm going to talk about my step 2 of my process, which is nailing your sales process. Now, the thing that I want to talk to you about today that a lot of people are not doing, especially when they get a yes on a consult, is doing a post-consultation evaluation. Now, I know it can be really tempting to say to yourself, I don't need to evaluate how that went because I got a yes. A lot of times people think when I talk about evaluating the consultations that you're doing that I'm only talking about when you don't get the answer that you want on the consultation so that you can troubleshoot and see what you could do differently next time. But it's even more important to do an evaluation when you get a yes. Why? Because you've just talked to somebody who wants to hire you. You should want to look at the things that you did and said before and during your consultation that made a difference and got you a yes. If you do that, then you can start looking at what you did even to get the person to ask you to sign up for a consultation. Did you do a live? Did you post about a specific topic? Did you make an offer that you don't normally make? Like, look at the things that happened that led to that person scheduling a consult. Look at the things that that person said during the consult that tells you what they think and feel about the problem that they have right now, what they want the solution to be, how their life is now, how they envision their life being once their problem is solved. All of those, tidbits of information are things that you can start using in your marketing so that you can start using the words that your clients use and attract other people who find themselves feeling very similar to that person that you just talked to. When you do a post consultation evaluation, you get to look at what went well, what didn't go well, and what would you do differently. And that way, you can start looking, whether you get a yes or a no, at everything that led up to that consultation, how you delivered the consultation, what you were thinking and feeling before and during the consultation. Did you word something in one way that's different than the way you worded it before? Like, you can start looking at all of this so that you can clearly see where you're doing things and getting a no and where you're doing things and getting a yes. So in my opinion, the post consultation evaluation is the most important part of the consultation because you get to then look back and see what you did that made a difference. Now, it can be hard to not immediately go to, especially if you didn't get a yes, to go to all the things that went wrong on the consultation. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to actually start with what worked, because our minds are not creative when we're in a negative headspace. So if you'll start in a positive headspace, then you can really go from there into having more creative ideas about what didn't work and what you would want to do differently. Now, I know that there are times when you might say, the whole thing was a disaster. There's nothing that went well. But you did get a consult. Even if the person didn't show up to the consult, you produced somebody saying, I want to block time in your calendar and talk to you about the services you offer. That is a win. Go back and look at what you did that produced somebody saying that they want to consult. If what didn't work well was that they didn't show up, then what would you do differently to make sure that doesn't happen again? What could you have done between the time that somebody booked with you and the time that the consultation was supposed to be held, right? So you need to be evaluating every single conversation you're having with potential clients, whether they were a no-show, a hell no, a hell yes, or somewhere in between, so that you can see exactly what you're doing and you can start going, I have been saying it like this, but this time I worded it like this. And I could see that the client's eyes kind of lit up because they really understood what I was talking about because I put it in these terms, right? When you will actually dedicate time, if you can kind of wrangle yourself into a dedicated time after a consultation, no matter what the outcome was, to actually take a look at the things that you did up until and during the consultation that made a difference. I promise you, you will be growing your business much quicker because you're actually going to be getting information and acting on it, using that information that you're gathering. And this is really going to help you change quicker. It's going to help you be nimble quicker on your feet as far as what you're saying in your marketing or in your messaging, what you're saying to people as they book a consult or before they show up, what you're saying to people during the consultation. And you can really start looking if you take kind of your ego out of it, right? Especially if you get a no. A lot of times we want to be really hard on ourselves, and it's hard to just look at something objectively and go, okay, I could get better at doing this one thing. That's all you need to worry about is focusing, okay, how could I be better at that, right? So I want you to start really looking at evaluating your consultations in a whole new light and put much more emphasis on the time that you spend when somebody said yes, because that person wants to work with you and we want many more people like that person. So it's much more important to do those evaluations than you might have thought in the past. And I just want you to think through how you can do these evaluations to really benefit you and your business. Now, before I hop off, I do want to remind you that this Friday at 2 p.m. Central, I am doing a training in my free Facebook group. If you are not in the Facebook group already, it's free. There's a couple questions you need to answer to get in, but it's no big deal. And I'll let you in when you request to join the group if you're not already in there. But at 2 o'clock this Friday, I'm going to walk you through an exercise that I do with my clients where we develop an offering and messaging at the same time in the same exercise. Now, you might be saying, this isn't for me because I already have my offer. But if you feel like the value of your offering or the way you talk about your offering and whether or not people are really responding to it and going, oh my God, that's something I need to know more about. If they're not having that reaction, you might want to consider coming to this training because we're going to break down how you look at how you do the messaging and the offering so that it's as irresistible to the people who need it as possible. So if this is interesting to you, make sure you mark it on your calendar, 2 o'clock p.m. Central Time this Friday, which is what, the 12th? I don't even know. No, the 10th. That's the 10th. So make sure you're in my Facebook group, 2 o'clock on Friday. I think it's the 10th. I could be wrong. Doesn't really matter. It's this Friday. If you're watching this and it's the 7th, it's this Friday, 2 o'clock. If you know somebody who is building an online business, they want to offer their services, or they have an online business and they're wishing they could attract more people and sign more clients, let them know about this training. It's free and open to everybody. The only reason I'm putting it in a container at all is that it's information that I gave on a paid summit. And those people paid at least $197 to get access to this information. So I don't want to just put it completely open to the internet. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a container, put it in my Facebook group. And that way it's a more intimate group. It's a more closed space. But I want you to be there live because if you have any questions as we're going through the exercise, I want you to be able to ask them and get my feedback on the question that you have. So that's what I have today. I hope that you are able to make it on Friday at 2:00 p.m. Central for my free training. Also, I have a 4-step checklist of launching your first or next high ticket offer, the things that you need to do and none of the things you don't need to do to get your offer out there, selling and doing all the things that you need to do to actually bring clients on board. I have a checklist for that. So if you want that, drop me a comment below. And if there's anything that I am talking about or doing that you're like, I'm not sure if this is for me, drop a comment, ask me. I'll get back in touch with you and let you know. Okay. Or if there's something like that you wish I would talk about to answer a question that you have, let me know. Drop me a comment. Let me know what your questions are or how I do a specific thing or how I deal with something specific with my clients. Just let me know because this is what I do all the time. So hope you're having a great week. I hope to see you on Friday and I'll talk to you again soon.